right, let me begin with the Daily Nation, and this is what we have as the headline: Teachers, police face SHA medical crisis. Teachers, police face SHA medical crisis, and 33 billion shillings is the amount that private hospitals are owed by the state for treating Kenyans under the defunct NHIF scheme. Now, healthcare seems to be in turmoil. Hospitals affiliated with the Rural Urban Private Hospitals Association, that is RUFA, have warned they will not treat teachers and police officers when they transition from their current insurer to the Social Health Authority in December, citing rising deaths. The private hospitals are already demanding cash upfront from other patients using the SHA cover of a similar failure by government to settle their claims. And this story has been fleshed out on page 2 of the Daily Nation. And I'm sure this is a story that is on both newspapers, that's the Star as well as the Standard, and my colleagues will also touch on that. And then another story that has been highlighted on the front page of the Daily Nation, we have no deal on Ruto re-election. Those are words by the Right Honorable Raila Odinga. Dilemma as ODM marks its 20th anniversary. The party that has been the face of opposition finds itself at a crossroads owing to a partnership agreement with the ruling party and the appointment of the 5 members to President Ruto's cabinet. The deal has torn the party into 2 factions, for and against Ruto's re-election, prompting the ODM leader Raila Odinga to declare that his outfit has not resolved to back the incumbent and asking members to cease premature campaigns. That is a story that is on page 4 and page 5 of the Daily Nation. One other story that has been highlighted on the Daily Nation, we have peacekeeping. Ruto decries Kenyan police fighting gangs in Haiti with little aid. Now, the president criticizes the international community, citing inadequate resources for the mission, including second-hand armored vehicles that frequently broke down. That's a story that is on page 11. And one final story highlighted on this paper, we have how a fake letter cost farmers 6 billion shillings of land. Mike, what's on the front page of the Star? Indeed.
This is what is captured on the front page of the Star newspaper. Is Raila planning to run against Ruto? Veteran politician is busy rebuilding a 20-year-old party and recruiting new members as preparations for 2027 polls begin to take shape in earnest. That story is told in detail on page 4 and 5 of the Star newspaper. Radical changes, Uhuru to retain Jubilee top position as Matiang'i joins ahead of 2027 polls. That story is told in detail on page 6 of the Star newspaper. Kenyans maimed in Gen Z protest weigh in on compensation. That story is told on page 7 of the Star newspaper. Old rivalries, new faces as a Bomet governor race takes shape ahead of 2027. That story is fleshed out in detail on page 10 of the Star newspaper. Ali Robbie turned massaging passion into a thriving career. Read that story on page 11 of the Star newspaper. You can read the stories on the page. Now, there's a story here. Juakali to drive employment as formal state jobs shrink. Kipra says that strong drivers lie in construction, transport and storage. That story is told on page 8 of the Star newspaper. There's a story here on the back page of the Star newspaper. It's about sports. Quote unquote, I want my record. World champion Jepchirchir plots to reclaim women's only world record from Asefa after beating Tigit's Asefa to the world title in Tokyo In Tokyo, 2020 Olympic champions Perez Jepchirchir has now set her sights on reclaiming her women's only world record from the Ethiopian star. Kipkurui set sights on distance glory after near podium finish in Tokyo. Read that story in detail on the back page of the Star newspaper. Victor.
Revealed on the front page of the Standard. Revealed. There we have it. I think this is with regards to the death of the lady who died in Nanyuki. Okay. Revealed. So according to the Standard today, Standard say that they can reveal the face of the British soldier whose extradition from the United Kingdom has been ordered by Kenya's High Court. He is accused of robbing a 5-month-old baby of a mother, a family of their daughter, and a Nanyuki community of a young woman who lost her life at just 21. Agnes Wanjiru's spirit still cries for justice, and a major obstacle is the lengthy UK extradition process that is tied up with the courts and the Secretary of State. But the first step lies with Kenya's Director of Public Prosecutions. That is what's on the front page of the Standard. The Standard say that they can now reveal the face of the soldier who is alleged to have murdered Agnes Wanjiru. That is around 10 years ago. According to Peter Werner, who is a British-trained lawyer, says that the Kenyan prosecutors must now present strong evidence that meets UK legal standards for extradition. Even if the judge is convinced, the Secretary of State may refuse to order an extradition in the case where the offense, the accused is charged with could lead to a death penalty. So that is what's on the front page of the Standard newspaper. It's been a case that has been going on for several years now, but the family of the late Wanjiru is still crying for justice. SHA crisis leaves patients stranded nationwide. Most private hospitals suspended services under the Social Health Authority, that is SHA, over 75 billion shillings in unpaid reimbursements, leaving patients stranded. And now, many seeking care were turned away after facilities refused to accept SHA cover. Vivian and Mike, the issue of SHA, but when you hear the CS, that is Duale, saying that the government has put all necessary measures to ensure that SHA is up and running. Even the president said last week that 2 million Kenyans who are unable to pay for SHA will be supported by the government. But then now, when you see the Rural and Urban Private Hospitals Association of Kenya chairperson saying that SHA is not working, so who do we believe?
It's quite confusing, and it's the kind of confusion that we do not need to have, because this the lives of Kenyans, and that is something that not to mess with. Someone's life is not to mess with, because when you mess with someone's health, you are definitely messing with the person's life directly. I mean, I'm trying to look at a case of people who have chronic illnesses, and they need to access the hospital or these hospital facilities weekly, some maybe monthly, people who are undergoing dialysis, people who are undergoing chemotherapy and all of that. I'm imagining a situation where there's a mother whose date is almost due, and they need to go to the hospital so that they can get to deliver their child or children safely. But now imagine if they happen to have their delivery or their due dates today. Do you know when they go to a private hospital, the hospital that they've been going through their entire pregnancy, they can't be able to deliver their child simply because, well, the hospitals have decided enough is enough, according to them. So it's sad. It's such a sad state of affairs, if you ask me, and I feel like it is a fatal crisis.
Yeah. You know, you know, for far too long, since the inception of SHA, we've had challenges that have come along the way. But I think it has taken us a very, very long time to address these bottlenecks, and it is affecting Kenyans, especially those who rely on SHA to get medical services. I think it's the high time we went back to the drawing board and asked our question, this question: where are we going wrong with this? What is working? What is not working? How can we address it? Now, and we look at it from that perspective, maybe we will be able to address the bottlenecks that are there and make sure that it is working for everyone. Because sometimes you hear a person who went to the hospital and said, SHA is working. It did this for me. Then there is this other person. I tried using SHA, it did not work for me. So how is it working for some people and it's not working for others? That is the biggest question I think that we need to address, and the government needs to address in as fast as possible, because this is, as Vivian has put it, it's a matter that is affecting the health and lives of Kenyans directly.
Directly,
Yes.
and having in mind that most Kenyans can't actually afford.
Yeah, health is expensive.
Exactly.
Health is expensive. Consultation fee sometimes goes up to 3,000, 5,000, depending on which hospital we've gone to.
Yeah.
But the CS has been up and running, saying that he's fixing that sector. Now, the confusion is that the suspension of SHA has now created a lot of confusion amongst healthcare givers, that is hospitals, either private or public hospitals. And you'll hear many people, just was it 1.5 weeks ago? The government suspended over 30 hospitals suspected to have been in some kind of fraudulent business. And now even the DCI was directed to investigate some of these hospitals. The question is the case of reimbursement, that yes, they are using their own money, but it comes to reimbursement, it's a problem from the government side. Now, Vivian, your Kiswahili is better than ours, we admit.
Yes.
Mike,
yes,
tukubali
wholeheartedly.
that when
put
two
me on
bulls, when
blast.
two bulls, yeah, when two bulls fight,
Okay, that one is an easy word.
Yeah.
Fahali wawili wakipigana.
yes.
Yeah.
So-
Nyasi ndo wanaumia. Sasa sisi ndo nyasi.
Sisi ndio nyasi. When you hear people, citizens across the country saying that they went to the hospital, yes, some hospitals accept SHA. We have to give credit where it's due.
Yes.
But I think it has to be a nationwide success, that I can go to any hospital in the northern part of Kenya, go to the coastal, or even come to the capital city, walk in any health facility and you'll be helped.
Yes.
I think that's now where the government needs to streamline the system and make that system work so seamlessly that you as a Kenyan, you really don't have to worry about you're going to the hospital and you're going to be asked about cash payment. You can only use cash probably if you want to go and buy medicine from a pharmacy outside the hospital. All right? But as it is, there is a confusion with the SHA.
Indeed.
Yes.
So why don't we take a break?
Absolutely.
Yes.
We'll be right back. Vivian, sema hivyo.
Sema kwa Kiswahili.
Tutarudi hivi punde. Stop.
Wakita nazivuna tunatimia, ila ni najua
What if uchizi ako na watu wengi?
Magaidi waliingia kwa kijiji changu, wakaanza kuangaisha watu bila mimi Chifu Matata kufahamu lolote.
Nenda bana vaave boss pe. Muranonda tawe. Fungua mlango. Wewe ni mgonjwa? Hapana.
We are shining the spotlight on the women who are shaping the Kenya's film and theatre industry.
My birth was a performance in itself.
Oh, girl.
I would put skits,
Yes.
you know, and I was the character, the actor in all the skits. I was the mother, I was the father, I was the brother, I was the sister, I was the house girl, I was everybody.
I don't think there's any actor whose parents have forced them to be actors.
Of course.
Like, you must be an actor, forget about being a doctor, be an actor.
When you walk into a room, first of all, people judge you and they want to see, are you creative enough? And then the next thing is, if you're in a leadership role, can you lead?
Because at times people think it's the relationship with that woman that will give you the job. You show them, no, bring me the skills, and I will tell you whether you can work with me or not.
You can't expect everything to just be served to you on a silver platter. This industry needs people to be hardworking.
It's art, it's culture, it's fun, it's attitude.
You can see with me, I have this handkerchief. And is it really a handkerchief or is it?
My name is Kevin Kasioki. Please join me each and every Friday at 8 p.m. only on KBC Channel 1.
Welcome back. Okay, so let's continue. A very quick one on the front page of another inner pages of the Standard. Mass death in police cell clocked in mystery. The gentleman called Simon Warui's widow says that he left their home in Kayole but was found dead days later in a police cell in Mombasa. Police claim that he died after falling while attempting to climb a wall, suffering neck injuries. That is a case of another death in a police cell in Mombasa. Until Sunday, September, the Warui had the family's sole breadwinner working at a shop that sold some home appliances. And according to them, that morning he left home, promising to return shortly, but he never came back. And that is what is happening here on another page of the Standard newspaper. Lake Victoria Fishers and Coast Guard build bridges of trust. That is, there has been a back and forth between these two bodies, but then now it's said that they have mended their bridges. Robert Pakis, from war medic to prime suspect in the murder of Wanjiro, trained to save lives. British medic says that the question again, Standard accused of killing, he's been now accused of killing Agnes Wanjiro. If extradited, he would be the first British soldier tried abroad for a civilian murder. Okay, for a civilian murder. We are still waiting to hear and see how that will go. Ruto walks freely in tidy New York as chaos reigns in Nairobi, streets of Nairobi. Okay, they're in, member states are in New York.
Yes.
New York's functioning order revealed the beauty of working system. That's according to the Standard. But leaders have failed to replicate similar efficiency, accountability, and discipline back home. The thing is, images of President William Ruto walking the street of New York on the sidelines of the 80th session of the United Nations General Assembly spoke louder than words. But of course that was expected because that place is not so far. Yeah. It's just 500 meters from, not so far from the where the president, you know, had his address, and of course the General Assembly meeting venue. But he was seen walking the streets. It's a nice thing. And
it started a conversation online,
yes,
by the way.
Yeah.
I'm saying they wish the president would do that along also Tomboya freely, you know. But it should also be the case when he's back home.
Exactly.
I saw that conversation online, yeah.
But, you know, it also depends with the level of... America is far over 200 years of independence.
Yes.
So their system started working over almost 200 years ago. You get it? And that is something that they've worked on over decades.
Yes.
So seeing the president working there, and it's a very safe country. You can imagine several heads of states in New York for that General Assembly. Then it means that the security agencies are leaving nothing to chance.
Yeah.
Yeah, nothing to chance. All right, Vivian.
Okay, back to the Daily Nation. There's a story here on the list of services that are unavailable in Kenya right now. The Social Health Authority has released a list of 36 healthcare services that are unavailable in the country and which Kenyans can now go to seek overseas. And some of those services, out of the 36, there are 36 of them, and out of them we have liver transplant is not being done here in Kenya. There's the bone marrow transplant, there's the kidney transplant, pediatric, among other services. There are quite a number of them that have been listed right here on page 3 of the Daily Nation. So you can have a look. They have quite the medical terms, so I opt not to try and read them. There's another story here, still on the same that Victor has touched on. The Ruto decries a lack of support for Kenya's mission in Haiti. President William Ruto yesterday used the United Nations platform to call out the international community's neglect of the Kenyan-led Haiti mission 11 days before the operation comes to an end. Speaking at the high-level side event on the multinational security support, that is MSS, mission to Haiti in New York, United States of America, the president lamented that Kenya had been abandoned in the mission, forcing deployment officers to operate blindly while battling gangs. So he really did talk about the Kenyan-led mission that has been ongoing in Haiti, and that story is on page 11 of the Daily Nation. Junior school teachers seek autonomy. 3 years after the rollout of junior secondary schools, teachers say they remain unsettled, under-resourced, and overworked. They are now demanding autonomy from the primary schools where they are domiciled. So that is a story that is on page 8. A message here from James Odhiambo, who says, "We reject the idea of comprehensive schools. It will only increase confusion and conflict between head teachers and junior school staff." You can get yourself a copy of the Daily Nation and get to read on that. Looking at the last page, or the back page of the Daily Nation, it says, "You deserve it and more." And this is a story of our world champions who got to do as well in Tokyo, Japan. Now, from the World Athletics Reward Scheme, Kenyan medalists will pocket a combined 78 million Kenyan shillings and 27 million from the government cash reward. Kenyan medalists from the just concluded World Athletics Championships will smile all the way to the bank following a cash windfall from the event organizers. The team will also get additional juicy cash rewards from the government. So this is a good story for our medalists who did as well, one more time I repeat, in Tokyo, Japan. They'll be smiling all the way to the bank. And it's a good thing when we see our sports personalities getting appreciated. We saw the same with the Chan Games that were concluded last month. And we saw what that could do for the sports personalities and what that could do for our teams right here from Kenya. And that is going to be the same thing happening with our athletes as they get rewarded, you know, handsomely for a job well done. What's on the star, Mike?
Indeed, indeed. Our sportsmen and women deserve that recognition because they have worked hard for it.
Yeah.
Does Raila plan to run against Ruto in 2027? That story is on page 4 and 5 of the Star newspaper. ODM leader Raila Odinga could be planning to run again for the presidency. The veteran politician is busy rebuilding his 20-year-old party, recruiting new members as preparations for the 2027 elections begin to take shape in earnest. Read that story in detail on page 4 and 5 of the Star newspaper. Kenyans maimed in Gen Z demos weigh in on payouts. IPOA reports that in the June and July protests, at least 65 people were killed. That story is told in detail on page 7. Uhuru to retain Jubilee top post. Matiang'i joins party. Move sparks protests from rival faction, which claims it has been sidelined. Former President Uhuru Kenyatta will remain the leader of the Jubilee party, with former Interior Cabinet Secretary Fred Matiang'i expected to be his deputy. Multiple sources confirmed to the Star that Matiang'i will formally join Jubilee and immediately assume a senior role during the upcoming delegates conference. Read that story in detail on page 6 of the Star newspaper. There's a story here, an interesting story here regarding compensation. Injured in a matatu crash, you can sue and win cash. High Court awards a passenger 650,000 damages after accident in Kisumu. Amid the endless news of road carnage causing deaths and injuries, did you know you could sue a matatu owner or company for compensation if you are injured in an accident? Read that story on page 3 of the Star newspaper. And finally, new KHRC report raises alarm over welfare of queers. That story is told on page 2 of the Star newspaper. Victor.
Let's talk about some politics here. And a quick one. When you talk about by-elections coming up, ODM, don't impose late MP Were's son on Kasipul people. That's according to Homa Bay Deputy Governor Oyugi Magwanga, who has now warned against imposing a candidate on the people of Kasipul on ODM nominations for November by-election. The nomination has attracted aspirants who include the late Kasipul MP Ngondo Were's son, that is Boyd Were, Newton Ogada, Adel Ottoman, and George Otieno, Were's assassination on April 30th triggered the by-election. And now Magwanga says that he's actually who served as the area member of parliament between 2007 and 2017, said that there are signs that some leaders are making attempts to impose Boyd on the people. The controversy here is that Oyugi Magwanga is the deputy governor of Homa Bay County. Gladys Wanga is the national chair of ODM. ODM is supporting the candidate, and the deputy governor of Homa Bay County says, do not impose us. Now that is politics. Talk about politics. Raila, ODM has not decided on its flag bearer ahead of 2027 general election. He says that the party's plans for the next election are still being carefully discussed. And now he has stressed that leadership requires tough decisions and that Kenyans' stability must come before everything else, including politics. Speaking yesterday during an ODM parliamentary group meeting in Nairobi, ODM cautioned members against making commitments that the party has not officially resolved, stressing that the time to make such decisions will come. Raila actually said that their working arrangements with Kenya Kwanza administration ends in 2027. Very quickly, when you talk about by-elections and polls, come clean on November mini polls. According to opposition has now told IEBC, the parties have raised concerns that the commission may have violated the constitution. Okay, the opposition is seeking records of decisions concerning November 27th by-election. And now, this demand is contained in a letter addressed to IEBC Chief Executive Officer Marjan Hussein Marjan by Ndegwa and Ndegwa advocates acting on behalf of Viper Democratic Front, WDF, and other interested parties there. And they said that they want IEBC to come clean. When it comes to the mini polls, IEBC says that they need 788 million shillings that will fund 16 by-elections in November 16th. The commission says that there is 238 million shillings funding deficit so far. You talk about Haiti, and the president also called upon members not to sit on the sideline and to be spectators. World must not abandon Haitian people, Ruto says, as mission ends. The president said that there must be necessary logistical support to make the operation successful. He also said that mission had secured the airport and presidential palace. Good move. And now that the mission is coming to an end, questions are being raised whether the member states who are there led by Kenya should come out. A quick facts at a glance. The multinational security support, that is MSS, mission in Haiti, authorized by the UN Security Council in October 2023 and led by Kenya, aimed to restore peace and order. Number one. Number two, that the multinational forces faces significant challenges, including severe underfunding, inadequate equipment. I think it was Vivian that you mentioned. Oh, yes. Yeah. Some of the armored personnel carriers are actually broken down, according to them, and they need more of such to keep that country in safe hands. 2 police officers died in Port-au-Prince, tour of duty, 1 still missing. Our hearts and thoughts goes out to the soldiers. The tour of duty for Kenyan police officers deployed in Haiti to fight gangland crime comes to an end next week. Whether they will come pulled out of the mission is still a case to be had, but yes, they're talking about it. There is a story here, and I just want to, on a light note, before we get to the next thing, how much do you think you're worth, Mike, if you were to get a transfer from here to somewhere else? How much do you think you'd be worth?
I don't know.
Thinking, scratching your head. Vivian, how much do you think you'd be worth?
Oh, wow. Let's not talk about it.
It's a hard one.
So, assume that Okinyi, the darkest man in Kenya, is your agent. Okinyi, how much would you help, negotiate on behalf of Vivian and Mike? Okay.
Yeah.
The story is about Musa Dembele. Dembele was named the Player of the Year of the Ballon d'Or. And this is what happened. Actually, he is a PSG, Paris Saint-Germain player. He's only 28 years old. Musa Dembele. Do you know how much this guy is, during the transfer window? The amount which was given, Dembele has finally shown that the quality that persuaded Barcelona to pay an initial 96.8 million euros, potentially rising to 135 million, 135.5 million euros to sign him from Borussia Dortmund in 2017. I made a quick mathematics.
Yes.
How much is that in Kenyan shillings?
Oh, Jehovah. So 135.5 million euros is equivalent to 20 billion 536 million 200,000.
For one player.
Pay.
This is money he's going to receive.
Yes. Potentially to rise. That this guy is going to be getting 20 billion.
Wow.
How much is it needed to fund the education system in Kenya or to roll out SHA?
Unaanza kuhesabia pesa yake.
I'm just thinking, IBC is looking for how much for a by-election? 788 million shillings.
Yes.
Ndebele can give 800 million to fund all the by-elections in Kenya, and he'll still go home. His account will not even be shaken.
With a handsome amount.
I know. I keep saying, if you have talented kids in the house, don't just let them sit on their talent.
I don't know whether they have this number here.
Don't just let them sit on their talent, for sure.
Yeah.
Martin Jeru, do you have Musa Ndembele's number? we need to give him a call.
Hey,
20 billion.
20 billion, bwana.
536 million 200,000 shillings.
Anaingianga mahali unasikia ameitwa governor.
Mkuu.
Chairman.
Those are not even befitting of this guy. We need to find another name, other names to use for such people.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Talent pays.
Yeah. It pays 100%.
I like what you said, Vivian.
Yeah.
If you have a talented child in the house, you just never know, right?
Don't let them sit on their talent.
Yeah.
Work on their talents.
You talk of talent and you look at how the ladies performed in Japan. Very impressive. They swept everything.
Yeah.
And that is out of pure talent, commitment, sweat and tears. That is why they deserve all the accolades they have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, maybe we can look into one or two more stories before we call it a wrap on the newspapers. There's a story here that has caught my eye. That is Lamu youth turn donkey dung into clean fuel and create employment. Now, in the narrow streets of the historic town that is Lamu, donkeys are not just a cultural symbol. They are the primary mode of transport. However, the daily movement of hundreds of these animals inevitably leaves behind piles of unwanted waste. Now, as the county government continues its efforts to work around maintaining cleanliness around the county of Lamu, their work has been complemented by a local youth group. The group known as the Lamu Arts and Theatre Alliance. Members of this group have introduced an innovative initiative that is transforming donkey dung and other waste into a valuable resource that is eco-friendly fuel. Talk about innovation and also at the same time ensuring that they are cleaning their town. There's one more story here. Teens' death sparks global debate on AI and mental health. I don't know if you guys saw the story of parents who were suing OpenAI, for the death of their child who died by suicide, a teenager who died by suicide, claiming that they used AI for the instructions until he got to a point where he died by suicide. Now, OpenAI, the creator of ChatGPT, has announced new parental controls for its popular artificial intelligence tool following the death of a teenager whose family claims that the chatbot played a role in his suicide. Now, this new feature will allow parents to link their accounts to those of their children, restrict how the bot responds, disable memory or chat history, and receive alerts if a child appears to be in distress. So the company said the changes were part of their efforts to help families set healthy guidelines that fit a teen's unique stage of development. That was very needed, you know, because with AI right now, a lot is at stake. It has its pros, it has its cons, and these are one of the cons that come with this artificial intelligence. Because I mean, someone took their own life using the instructions that they were given by that AI tool. So it's good that they will be keeping track. There is a way that parents can be able to keep track of what their children are doing with their phones or gadgets. Yeah.
All right.